again. All right, today's video I wanted to cover the watch list, but also I wanted to cover how I find the stocks that I'm looking to add to my personal watch list every day, especially if I'm going to be boxing them in. If you guys noticed, I've usually been trading Nvidia a lot, and I wanted to just cover what I'm looking for specifically when I'm looking at my daily charts. And sometimes what I look for in the pre-market is how I'm going to determine whether I'm going to trade this potentially, and just add it to my watch list for the day. And one of the biggest things I'm looking for is, one, a pattern. Obviously, if you can see something like this, then you decide, hey, you know what, I definitely want to take this the next day, especially if it's gapping down, it's probably going to go down. But two, I'm looking for this. You see, normally the way that it breaks, when it breaks high, you see how it has almost little to no wick. That's what I'm looking for. So if I was going to jump into NVIDIA after this gap up here, I like that it has little to no wick. It gapped up here and it went down, little to no wick. It gapped up here and then shot down, very small wick. So 172. So it's that's kind of one of the things I'm looking for. I don't want to see these. See these here, massive whipsaws, massive whipsaws. I want to see relative to the candle size, how was the wick. So I start going through my list every day, and those are the little things I'm looking for, apart from a pattern or something that I feel comfortable with. As far as, hey, are we on a reversal? Are we on a continuation? So looking at Shopify, you see how Shopify gaps up and goes down, little to no wick on the going down, meaning little to no wick when it went up. Here it gapped up and just went up, gapped up and came down, gap down and just went up. See how it has that nice little pattern of just going in the direction that it normally breaks? That's what I want to see in the stocks that I want to trade. So when you look at it on the 10 and 30 minute, you can see that it barely had any move lower. So looking at the 30 minute here, you can see, man, this thing just went straight up yesterday, and nothing to stop it. So basically, you probably would have never been stopped out of this one here. You could have taken your profits at the target of this pivot here at 313, which was the long-term target, or the the main target for Shopify yesterday. You saw the video yesterday. So when you're making your list every single morning, that's what you want to start looking for. You want to start looking for things like this. So Shopify is obviously on my list, because Shopify tends to move in a very directional manner. It's like, hey man, you can make your money, and this thing is just gonna keep going. And this is why I keep the bigger picture at large open all the time, so you can see what it actually is doing. So you can see how you could have easily been squeezed out of this 10-minute chart here. Here it had no rhyme or reason to stop here. On the 30 minute, you can see that there was a 200 MA acting as resistance. It shot past it, came right back. On the next 30 minute, it closed right at it, and then it opened above it, and nothing to stop it from there. So this is why I always like to keep the 30-minute chart up. Here, depending on your account size, you may have needed to take your profits pretty much when it hit here as soon as possible. But on a regular account, there was no reason for you not to let this strategy play out to the target over here. But this is what I'm looking for. So let's see if we can find another one for today. All right, Amazon has a massive wick. Let's see, AZO, BKNG. And Amazon and BKNG, honestly, guys, they're awesome. They make me a lot of money. But they are very dangerous as well. When they go against you, they will hurt. So you're better off not trading these until you have a 25,000 plus account, just to be safe, and just trade everything else. And everything else, you can always increase your contract size. But Amazon and BKNG are very, very tough. I mean, you guys are going to do whatever you like. Obviously, you have to manage your account based on your emotional control. But Amazon and BKNG are awesome, but they are a lot easier to trade when you have larger accounts. So as you can see here, AZO has been making higher lows and higher highs, but it does have those trickery wicks. It just tricks you. into go in one direction and then it goes the opposite way. So that's what I'm looking for here is just, I'm trying to avoid those as much as possible, unless I see a pattern, because usually after the patterns, they tend to go just fine. So let's see. Be okay. Yesterday had a nice straight shot down. See, so this did not challenge the upside at all. We got negative divergence. And the next stop for BLK will be around 453. Moves about $6 per day. Yesterday it moved from 472 to 467. So was that a $5 move? I'm gonna keep BLK on my watch list for today. And yes, BLK does tend to do wicks, but coming after this pattern here, it may do a couple of these. So I'm just gonna watch it. It's not guaranteed, guys. There is no nothing that can tell you whether they're going to have wicks or not. It's just, hey, let me look at the charts. Let me see what I see, and do I like what I see? That's all it is. So, you know what I mean? So here we go. It reversed, no wick, and then the next day. So it could do one of these, or it could just give me another one of these. I'm just going to watch it. I'm not saying I'm gonna trade it, but I am gonna watch it because I like that it set up a divergence, and now it's reversing. And even if it does continue to go higher, I feel like it still has a little bit of room to come down to 465 before continuing higher. So I'm just gonna add it to my list. Netflix. Yeah, Netflix has a lot of wicks. Why I've been very, very cautious with it. It is forming a tighter box compared to yesterday. So I am going to have it on my list today. So this is what I'm looking for here. So, if it stays here on this tight little range, I like this. Because now I can see, okay, well, now it's just staying in one little tight little range. And again, today is a half day. So it may be a low volume day, probably not much activity. Keep that in mind as well. So if you have rules that tell you not to trade, pay attention to those. All right, let's take a look here. All right, well, that's pretty much it, guys. The only few I liked today were Shopify, BLK, Nvidia. Netflix didn't meet so much of criteria, but I'm going to keep an eye on it because of the tight range of the pre-market. Facebook, and then I also put ILMN, but I do like BYND. So I may swap one of these for this. ILMN is just a higher risk one. So I do want to keep an eye on it. By high risk, I mean I think it has the potential to move a little more than the rest of these, and I think it looks to me like it doesn't want to reverse lower. Looks like it wants to keep pushing higher. Like the RSI wants to make a new high on the overbought levels. So I'm thinking it may hit 380. But I want to watch it because it's either going to reverse hard here because of the pattern, or it's going to continue going higher. So I do like what I see here as far as a nice move. So it's a $7 mover, so I definitely want to watch this one. and then BYND. So I may replace either Netflix or Facebook for BYND. So I'm not looking at those. So I'll make the determination myself in a few here. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much what I go through every morning to kind of see what I want to trade. You know, I'm looking for these candles like this. No wicks. Little wicks usually in the time when it breaks. When it breaks, it's just little tiny wicks most of the time. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you have not taken the course, go ahead and click the links below. Go ahead and join us on our Discord group and become a part of the family. I'll see you guys on the next one.